Welcome back to our channel. Time is flying and life on our little farm in the south of France is as busy as ever. This week, we've been focusing on renovating our kitchen and learning more about working with classic French farmhouse walls. The warm days have also pulled us outside into our ever-growing garden where we've been planting crops that we hope to harvest in the spring. So come along and join us on this week's step in our self-sufficiency journey. Our kitchen is a piece of art in progress. After marking the wall where the new opening will be, we started tackling it with the jackhammer to create the window. What we thought would be a one-day job quickly turned into 3 days of fierce hammering and chiseling, slowly shaping the wall into what will eventually become a beautiful new window. Hours of breaking through the wall left the floor buried under heaps of stone and the air filled with a thick haze of dust. Every swing of the jackhammer echoed through the house, but with each layer that came down, we could finally begin to see the shape of our future window emerging. While we were busy opening the big new window, we also decided it was time for the tiny little window beside it to retire. We've got other plans for that corner, and honestly, with all the light the new opening will bring in, the kitchen won't even notice that the little guy is gone. Little by little, the window opening grew, and for the first time, we could glimpse the outside world. It was easy to start imagining how wonderful it would feel to cook and dine in this bright, airy space once it's finished. Watching the transformation take shape is so incredibly satisfying. Even when the work feels hard and exhausting, seeing the results make every bit of effort so rewarding.
Window is almost in. Couldn't drill a few of the holes because the drill is not powerful enough, so I'm waiting for another one I've ordered. I've started to hide the electricity. It was laying here on the outside. We've put it in the wall. Started putting new boxes and wires. So today I'm gonna mix up a lot of cement. Gonna make this flush. And yeah, finish putting in all the boxes and wires and conduits.
Everything in this room is a challenge. Pipes, cables, windows, walls, you name it. To make everything work properly, Gisli spends countless hours learning the best techniques, and combining that with his own knowledge, he always does his best to achieve the optimal result. Every time we take a step forward in this project, we somehow end up in the situation of needing a lot of materials. Of course, we try to use everything left behind by the previous owners or scattered around the property, but most of the time, new materials are unavoidable. The result? Our bank accounts tend to empty faster than we'd like. With all the cables safely tucked away, it's time to patch up those holes with mortar. Goodbye gaps, hello smooth walls. This kitchen feels like a never-ending story. There are so many little details, but each one of them is important for creating a fully functioning kitchen. Every big and small task counts toward the final result. Having your family over to help out made a huge difference, keeping the project moving while giving us all the extra hands we could get.
All the wires are in and almost everything has been closed off. Just a little section here I need to concrete in. I'm waiting until I can fully screw in the window, until I put concrete around it and over the rest of the wires. I'm about to start with putting some limestone plaster over this bit of concrete I used to try and hold this crack together. And then I'm gonna give it a go to plaster the rest of this wall to get a similar texture to the other ones. And then I'm not completely sure how I can refinish this wall since it's painted, but we'll figure it out.
Slowly but surely, the wall is starting to take the shape we've been imagining. The gaping holes are gone, and the uneven textures are smoothing out, giving the room a sense of progress and purpose. It's amazing to see how all the effort is transforming the space, but we know this is just one step. There's plenty of work ahead before the kitchen truly feels complete. Every layer of mortar, every careful stroke, brings us closer to the kitchen of our dreams. The small window also gets a coat of limestone plaster, and just like that, it's as if it was never there.
So this was the first coat, and I'm only planning to do 2 coats. Now that it's been around 3 hours, it seems to be dry enough that we can test the sponge. Let's see what happens. Hopefully it doesn't drag all the material off. Nope. So I've only watched a couple of videos on how to do this. I have no clue what's going on, but hopefully this is correct. So I've never worked with plaster before, as we don't really use plaster anywhere in Iceland, at least not that I know of. I've worked a few construction jobs, but never had to plaster. I think I'm just supposed to even it out now, and then I guess in like an hour or 4 I need to scratch the surface up to make it ready for the next coat. Doesn't look half bad. Definitely dragged some material off here. Hopefully that can be fixed with the next coat. But this does look decently level. Was around 3 centimeters in when I started. First I just put some concrete with fiber reinforcement, scored that, and now I'm doing the first coat of limestone. Okay. Now it seems quite smooth, quite straight. And then I just have to wait another 3-4 hours, and then I can scratch the surface so the next coat can stick. Now it's time to scrape the first layer so the second layer sticks better. And gonna do it like the guy on YouTube recommended, at a 45-degree angle, both directions. And then our guests will see how it will come out in around 7 days once it's dry. Now I just hope it dries slowly and evenly and doesn't crack.
While the kitchen is taking shape, we're also keeping busy in the garden. The sunny weather made it the perfect time to get our hands in the soil and start planting. This time our goal is to plant all the garlic we need and a little more. To do this, we used a big part of our second bed and almost half of the third. We carefully made holes and planted the cloves about 10 centimeters apart with 25 centimeters between the rows. We made sure to put the cloves deep enough so the tip doesn't stick out of the ground. It's fascinating how many things you can learn out in nature. For our kids, joining in our daily tasks is always effortless and exciting. They love being part of it, even if they don't yet realize how much of an impact these experiences will have on our daily lives in the future. After we finish planting the garlic, we spread a thick layer of mulch using the falling leaves we collected around the property. This helps protect the soil and retain moisture over winter. The next step was to prune the fig tree standing proudly in front of the house. It's a big tree, but unfortunately it hasn't produced many figs this year. The previous owner even suggested cutting it down and planting a new one. But we really like this tree. It provides a wonderful shady spot that will be so appreciated during the summer. That's why we decided to give it another chance. We pruned it carefully and plan to give it some nourishing food in the spring to help it get off to a strong start for the next season. To prune a tree this big, we had to keep a few important things in mind. The fig tree in front of the house was beautiful, but the branches had grown too close to the walls and were starting to take over the space. So before making any cuts, we took a good look at what needed trimming and how to do it safely. We started by removing the smaller branches to open things up, then carefully handled the big ones, lowering them down piece by piece. Even though it was a lot of work, watching the tree change shape felt rewarding. Days go by and we still enjoy the warm, sunny afternoons, soaking up every bit of warmth before winter comes knocking. Being able to enjoy dinner with friends outside at this time of the year is such a joy, and moments like these make life feel full and simple. We make sure to cherish every moment of this journey and embrace life just as it is. Thank you for staying with us for this part of the journey. We can't wait to share the next chapter with you. See you next time.